What's up YouTube, this is K and welcome to my channel. So in today's episode I'm working on a 2008 Mercedes-Benz E350 and this one has no heat. If I say no heat, I mean no heat at all. And for the past 6 months there is no heat in the car, and it's winter time already, so I had to check and make sure I got heat in the car. So right now I did my diagnose and I found two things. So I'm gonna go over the two things with you, fix it, and see if I'm gonna get some heat on it. So don't go nowhere, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. K Auto, that's it right here. I got you. Peace. All right, so first of all, if you don't have heat, there are a few things that you're gonna have to look out for. And the first thing I'm gonna talk about is your coolant leaks. If you have any coolant leaks in your radiator or your heater core, you will not have no heat in the system. And sometimes the radiator leaks and you cannot even see it because when you're driving, the wind blows the radiator or the coolant underneath the car, so you can't even see the leaks. But for you to detect the leak, you can put a pressure test on the radiator system or the coolant system, and that's going to help you find exactly where the leak is coming from. And number two, if you have a bad thermostat, you will not have no heat in your system. Also, if you have a bad water pump, or if your water pump is not working up to the minimum or to the maximum, you will not have no heat in the system. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is if you have a clogged heater core, definitely you will not have no heat in the system, because all the heat that is coming from the radiator goes to the heater core before it comes to you in the cabin. And since the heater core is inside the car underneath the dashboard, you cannot really see it when it is clogged or when it's leaking, unless maybe you have an inspection camera or you have to take the whole dash out before you can get to the heater core. So far what I have done is I put a pressure test on the coolant system, and I found out that my radiator was leaking from the sides, and it's leaking pretty bad. So I've got a new one standby. And also there is a heater hose on the firewall. That is where it connects to the heater core. That's the heater hose right here, and that one also is broken on the edge, so it's also leaking. So these are the two things that I have found so far, and I'm gonna go ahead and replace these two, put some coolant in the system, and start the car, let it run to the temperature to see if I can get some heat. Then I'll go to the next step. If I get some heat, that's a good news. If I don't get any heat, then I will know that I need to dig down or dig deep, and I'm suspecting it's coming from the heater core, or my heater core is clogged. But since I found these two things leaking, I can't go any further without replacing them. So I'm gonna replace the radiator and the heater hose, then I'll go to the next step. All right, so let's do this and see if we have some heat. All right, fingers crossed. Okay, so as you can see, I got all the two major coolant hoses out. This is the upper radiator hose and that's the lower radiator hose. I got it out from the radiator. And also when you come down here, there are two lines that goes on the radiator. That's the oil line. It's the oil cooler lines for the transmission. So one is on the top and one is on the bottom. So you're gonna have to unplug those lines also. And there is one coolant line that comes from the coolant reservoir and it goes all the way down to the radiator. You're gonna have to unplug that one too. And it goes down from the bottom of the coolant reservoir to the middle of the radiator down there. So it has pin to hold it in place. You're just gonna have to pry the pin out, and you're gonna get that one out too. So pretty much all the lines attached to the radiator is out. So now I'm just gonna unplug the radiator fan, and I'll lift both the radiator and the fan assembly out. But before I do that, I'm gonna take this bracket. I'm gonna take this bracket out so I can lift it all the way up, and it's gonna be so simple. So it's very easy. Just follow these steps and you can get your radiator out easy and nice with no damage. All right, so let's get the radiator out now. Okay, so finally the radiator is out, and it wasn't that too much difficult or too much hard to come out, but the good news is it's out. So this is the part that I was leaking from. So this little plastic on the side and the aluminum, there is a seal right here. That's where they bind together. So that is where the leak was coming from. You could see all those white coolant stuff. Yeah, that's from the leakage. So I got the radiator out, and you could tell that this radiator has never been replaced before. This is the factory radiator from 2008. It's never been replaced before, so I guess this is the time to replace it. And I've got my new one ready. I already match it up and it's the same thing, so that's a good one. So I'm gonna just go ahead and install that one. So on the back of the radiator, before you get it out, on the back here there are little tabs that locks to the AC condenser, both on both sides. So you're gonna have to push this down and just pry it out. Push these tabs down and you just pry it out, and it's gonna come off easily. So that's the little trick. It's pretty much easy. So let's install the new radiator and let's go. All right, so the radiator is in. Like I said before, See this little tab? That is where the AC condenser clicks in. So there is one on the left and there is one on the right. And also the oil cooler on the front of the AC condenser also has a little tab that it goes in down there to hold it in place. So everything in front here is all set. And when you come down here too, all these hoses, the inlets, it came with new pins or new clips. So all I'm gonna do is to just install the lines back in place, and we'll be all set. Then I'll put some coolant in. Then I'm gonna go ahead and also replace that heater hose right here. Then we should be all set. All right, so stay with me, don't go nowhere. You're ready now. Okay, so at this moment the radiator is in, and also the coolant hoses, both the upper and the lower radiator hoses, are all plugged in. As you can see, the lower one is plugged in, the upper one is also inside. The one that goes on the thermostat is also in, and that one is also in. So the fan is also back in place. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna put some coolant in there, and I'm gonna replace the heater hose. Then I'll start the car, let it run to the temperature. Then I will see if I will get some heat. So fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. Okay, so now at this moment I will say the job is done, and I replaced the heater hose that I said that goes in the back to the firewall. This is the one that was broken, and if you look at the edge of the heater hose, you'll see that it's cracked, broken. So the coolant was leaking on that side. So now that side is all set, and also over here everything is all set. The coolant hoses, the fan, the bracket, everything is all good. And also I put some coolant in there. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna go ahead and start the car, let it run to the maximum temperature. Then I'll see if I'm gonna get some heat. Fingers crossed.